So in the last example that we have here, which was in the previous video, I've got 36x squared plus 9x minus 10. Now, if you notice, there are no common factors here. There's no difference of squares. There is no perfect square. So all we have here is a simple sum and product problem. The hard thing here is that our product will be quite large, and there's no way to overcome this. So we'll have to deal with it, right? We'll have to find a way, and that's it. So if we get those two numbers and we multiply them, 36 and negative 10, that's going to give us a product of 360, and it's negative because 10 is negative. A product of 360 and a sum of plus 9. So what can we state about those values? Well, what can we infer? Well, the first thing is that our product is quite large, so both numbers, well, the sum is small, so numbers are close together. The product is large, so they are probably quite large numbers. I would presume two-digit numbers. And also the sum is positive, the product is negative. Since the product is negative, one of them is negative and the other one is positive. Since the sum is positive, the positive number is larger. So let's look for numbers which multiplied would give us 360, and then we can worry about the sign later. So simply 10 times 36, right? But then if we multiply, we would need the smaller number to be the negative one, so our sum would be positive. And our sum here, if we multiply those, we get 100 and negative 360. However, the sum would be 26. So let's try a bit larger. Negative 15, we could try negative 20. So negative 20 times 18, right? And negative 15 times 24. So I'm doing here is several different numbers that would give us the product 360, and we can check which of those will give us a sum of plus 9. So here, negative 10 and 36, the product is okay, but the sum is not. The sum would be 26, positive 26. The second one here, negative 15 times 24, it's it, isn't it? Because 24 minus 15, it would give us positive 9. So there we go. That's what we're looking for here, right? This one would give us the right product, but not the right sum. It would be 2. So you can see that the sum went down as we got numbers close together. That's what we expected. So, well, there we go. So we have found 15 and 24. So we can now split our number. So 36x squared plus 24x minus 15x minus 10. Now, you may ask, why did you put them in that order and not in the same order that we had here? Well, what we always try to do is look for the number which will have similar factors, right? Similar factors. But it should not matter. Okay, it should not matter. If you put them in a different position, you should be able to factorize. Perhaps not the easiest way, but yeah, try to check. For example, here 36, I got 24 together because they've got a factor 2, easily a factor 2 both. Here 15 and 10, I had a 10, I had a 15. I just put them together because the 5, this is 5 times 2, this is 5 times 3x, right? Despite the sign. So now let's collect those together. So now we're back into our problem. Everything that we've done so far is just to find a way how to split those. If you see that way straight away, you do not have to go through all of that. If you can factorize straight away, that's perfect. That's fine. Okay, so equal to, now 36x squared and 24x. Well, obviously I've got an x, which is a common factor, and I've got, 36 is 12 times 3, and 24 is 12 times 2. So I've got 12. So this is 3x, and this is 2x. You can always factorize both numbers, right? If you ever forget how to do that, really, what you do is this, right? We've done that numerous times at the beginning of the year. So what can you divide both of those numbers by? Well, first of all, you could get rid of the x. So that's 36x and 24. Now you can divide by 2. So that's 18x and 12. Now I can divide both by 2 again because they're both even. So 9x and 6. And then by 3, and then you have 3x and 2, right? And then that's it. You're finished. You cannot do anything else. So this here, if you multiply all of those, 2 times 2 times 3 times x, that should be our 12x that you have here front. And the numbers which are left are the numbers which are inside here. Oh, there's a mistake here. There's no x. No x. Okay, plus 2. There you go. All right, now let's go for the second one. So we've got negative 5. That's a common term here. That's a common term here. You can factorize again. You can find the highest common factor. All right, so negative 5. If I divide negative 15x by 5, I'll find 3x. And also, you can remember, how much do I have to multiply negative 5 to get negative 15x? 3x. Alright, next term, negative 5 and negative 10. If I divide a negative 10 by negative 5, I'll get plus 2. Or, how many times do I have to multiply negative 5 to get negative 10? 2. So, that's where we arrive now. And then I've got this term, 3x plus 2 on both of them. So 3x plus 2 is our common factor. And then I have 3x plus 2 multiplied by 12x. And what we have here in the second term, negative 5. If you observe, there's no way I can factorize this any further. I've got no common factors in any of those brackets here. That's 2 times 2 times 3 times x. That's 5 times negative 1, right? I cannot factorize this any further. And there you go. Our problem is done. That's probably the hardest it gets, unless you work with fractions or you work with larger numbers. If you're able to solve problems like these ones, the only hardest step that you could get to, that I can think of straight away, would be having fractions in which you've got to simplify on top and below before you can get rid of any term which is common in the numerator and the denominator. Or you might have problems in which you don't have that many numbers, and it might be a bit harder for you to find the product and sum. However, it should be doable.